All right. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Um, I'm your host, the Mchezo Bwana. Shortly, I'm going to be joined by my co-host TJ. What we're going to do is on today's episode, what we're going to do is going to talk about this incident that happened with Adrian Broner. Saw that he was on the news. I guess a few days ago, a few days prior to his court case. I guess he was on Instagram flossing some money, and all of a sudden, I guess he had to go to court because he was found in contempt of court. Because looks like he had a court case, and I guess he owed somebody some money, and when the judge saw that, well, I guess they caught him in the court, sent him to jail. He was claiming he was broke. So we're just gonna give our thoughts on that, and you can also give your opinion too. You can call into the show 515-605-9342. All right, TJ, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, yeah. So I was just basically, giving an intro to what we were going to be talking about today, about the Adrian Broner situation.
Yeah,
Basically,
Cincinnati's favorite son.
Right. And Adrian Broner is a guy with a lot of talent, and when you talk about he's his favorite son, I guess that's a sarcastic remark because Cincinnati got a lot of haters also. But yeah, we do. But so what do you think about the situation? Did you check it out?
Adrian Broner, yeah, I checked it out. So Adrian Broner, he does this kind of stuff all the time. He thinks he's above things, or it seems to the way he portrays himself. He seems to think he's above things. He could do whatever he wants. He's had as many sexual assault cases as he has fights in the last 3 years. So.
But we don't know if they're real or not, though, right?
Yeah, well, and just for the benefit of the doubt, there are people out there that once they find out you're rich, they'll bring any case against you because they know you'll probably settle.
Right.
Adrian Broner, where he messed up is he didn't even show up to court. You don't show up to court, judge can do anything he wants. You're guilty. You can't fight it. That's it. He didn't even show up to court for the case. So number one, so he's kind of on the bad side.
The previous case,
number two,
he
it's not
didn't show up. The previous court date, he didn't show up.
The previous court date, he didn't show up. He didn't show up for the initial court date.
Is that what you're saying?
It was ruled against him. Yeah, it was ruled against him in the initial court date.
Okay.
So he shows up because he didn't pay this $830,000, whatever it was, $850, and he put these pictures of this money out on Instagram or whatever it was, but it's not like it was $850,000 worth. I don't think people have that money lying around. I think the judge threw him in contempt of court. He just used this as a last straw, some kind of excuse to throw him in contempt of court because he really doesn't care. It doesn't seem that he cares about the court. Yeah, and it was sarcastic. We call him his favorite son. I'm glad that he's a good boxer. He is very talented, but he's one of those people that shoots himself in the foot and gets in his own way.
Yeah, but maybe this is from childhood trauma. Maybe a lot of this stuff isn't. Yeah, I mean, if you know his story, he kind of tells about how he was poor and how he robbed people in order to buy materialistic things. I mean, his story is not rare. His story is actually, I guess, the thing that makes him rare is the fact that he was able to overcome this situation. But maybe he still has those demons, if you want to call them that. But I just want to go back to the whole.
But boxing isn't known for putting the people with your interest in mind around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyson did the same thing. Tyson did a lot of the same stuff. He had people that were using him at a young age for his talent. Taking money from him. And maybe it is the same with Broner. Now I'm all about mitigating circumstances, but 31 years old, he's had time to learn, right? And if he did have to go through those things, I do. I feel bad for him. But at some point in time, you have to realize this stuff's hurting you. You have to learn at some point in time.
Well, a lot of people don't learn though.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can't. Ideally, we would all learn our lesson as fast as possible. But the truth is, in reality, some people will never learn their lesson, and you can say it's their own fault or circumstance. But I'm just going off of what I've seen and experienced. But I wanted to touch on one thing about let's say the accusations are warranted. Shouldn't he be in jail instead of paying the money?
No, it was a suit. It was a civil suit. So no charges were filed. It was a civil suit.
So no charges were filed, and they know that people will try to. And this is the thing, and this is why I don't get mad at celebrities when they get standoffish with some people, because there's people trying to take advantage of you, man. There's people that don't want to work, and they look at you as a meal ticket. You remember this guy? You ever heard of this guy? Go ahead.
Yeah, there are liars out there. Let's take Kobe, for example. Now, this girl, the way Kobe described it, and people are like, oh, that's bullshit. Well, no, you just want to believe it's bullshit because he's black or he's famous or he's rich or whatever. You grew up with him, and now he's successful. But basically what happened with him and the girl worked at the hotel, right? She was into, like, some rough stuff, okay? So Kobe did have sex with her. She was into rough stuff, so he left bruises. She wanted to be choked and stuff like that. And she knew what she was doing. She wanted to get money.
Or she was setting him up.
Yeah, she was setting him up. So later on, what they did is she was like, oh, I'm claiming rape, because she was trying to set it up for a civil suit. And so what they did is they really went into this girl's life and, stuff like that. And I think at one point in time they, like, examined her underwear from that night. And she had like 4 different guys.
Yeah, she had multiple.
In her underwear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. And she was bragging about it at a party.
Right.
I believe they actually dropped those charges.
Did they drop
they dropped the criminal charges, I believe. And because there was a lot of evidence that, from what I understand, and people have to do their own research, from what I understand, I remember they were saying she was bragging about it, and people were going to testify against her.
Oh.
But there's this guy, Enzo Amore. He used to be a wrestler for WWE, and he got fired over allegations that he, I guess, sexually assaulted some girl, and they fired him before even letting it play out, and it turned out he was innocent. So, this stuff happens all the time. So I just say, watch who you deal with, because especially when you're a celebrity, sometimes people don't like you for who you are. Especially some of these females, they like you for the lifestyle that you can get them or afford them, and then what they can actually get from you. And
right.
They look at you as a come up.
In Broner's case, people learning their lesson. We talk about this. You have to be introspective. Now, if you have a bunch of people around you and you have this talent and you are really, really good at what you do, it's really hard to be humble and be introspective. So it's really hard to learn a lesson. Right.
Everybody's telling you yes, and they're using you because they want to. It's just tough. How can you really? You have to have people in a better position than you, I guess, if you want to call it that. That you're willing to
mentally, yeah. You have to have some mentors. You have to have some, you have to have some, like Don King. Don King ruined boxing, is what they say, because he was all about Foreman, and then he went up to Ali after the fight, right? I think it was Foreman, but anyway, he went up to Ali after the fight because Ali won. He didn't care about anybody. He just wanted that money. He took all Mike Tyson's money. And these are the people. Mike Tyson was 21 years old. So I can imagine the same thing probably happened with Broner. I don't know if the people around him are good, but they're not going around telling what he should and shouldn't do, apparently.
Yeah, you got entourages too. A lot of times these guys, these athletes, man, they have these entourages that they're taking care of, these rappers, and a lot of times that seems to be their downfall also. I noticed with a lot of Americans are insecure. What I noticed with black people in particular, just because we have been bashed a lot, I noticed that black people, there's a number of black people that are insecure, and they look to do things to impress people. You know, so and one thing about it is he's really only impressing poor people and then some of them are already haters anyway. So, like, what's the point? Because he's not impressing a person like Elon Musk or a Jeff Bezos, right? Because he can't really impress them with his money. And a lot of times people do it to make it easier, and white guys do this too, and all kind of guys do this. But a lot of times they they're flashy in order to make it easier for them to get females.
Yeah, peacocking.
Yeah.
Well, they talk about in the black community, and I've read this a few places, is, the stereotypical, like, they dress flashy, whatever. Or
the stereotypical black guy.
Stereotypical.
Well, the stereotypical black guy doesn't dress flashy.
What does he do?
I mean, they just dress the way they dress. It's just normal, I guess, but the stereotypical black guy...
We're talking about stereotypes. There's a lot of different stereotypes, right? So one of them is, why do black people have, or it seems that black people always have flashy clothes, or they try to buy flashy cars and stuff like that, and it comes down, and it happens to white people too. It's like you grow up with nothing, people won't let you have things. Like when you get there, you want the nicest shit.
I mean, I guess so, but a lot of people want the nicest stuff.
I guess.
I'm just talking about the rims and stuff like that. The rims and the jewelry, I think that's when you get to the peacocking. But I know plenty of white guys that have Benzes. Well, I don't know them like that, but I'm just saying I know of plenty of white people that have Benzes and stuff like that, and do stuff to impress females, buy bottles and stuff like that. So a lot of guys do it. I'm just saying sometimes. I'm just saying sometimes if you're in the hood and you don't really, what's the point of having the rims and stuff like that if the rims cost more than the car, or if you still living in poverty? You know what I'm saying? You just kind of impressing people. Yeah. It's kind of like a waste of money. Also, I just think it's a mismanagement of money, in my opinion. Who am I to judge?
Nothing of real substance.
Right.
You don't have not generational wealth, but you have nothing that you're not raising your net worth. You're just buying shit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like people do it just to kind of impress other people that already hate them and are jealous of them anyway. So what's the point? The fact that you have a level of success, you're gonna have people envy you anyway. So what's the point of having the rims? Because the whole thing is, like I said before, I talked about this before. Like the Warren Buffetts, the Bill Gates, they don't dress flashy, and it seems to be a strategy so that way people aren't jealous of them. Because you don't really think about it.
I don't think it has something to do with being jealous. I think what it really has to do with is, like, once you're comfortable in money, you're like, man, I don't have to impress anybody, right? Like I was thinking when I was making decent money, I was like, man, do I really want like a really, really like fancy car? Oh, to me, it just makes you a target.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But they put out the story that Warren Buffett still lives in the same home in Nebraska, and Warren Buffett or Bill Gates, one of them, still drive a Camry. That's BS, man. That's BS. That's just something they put out there. Do you think Warren Buffett really drives a Camry? Man, that dude he's not driving no Camry. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't even own an airplane. He still rents airplanes because he thought it was a bad investment. Warren Buffett's a little different, man.
He rents
an
airplane.
Is a little different. Warren Buffett's different because he looks at the value of things. All he cares about is money and value, right? And he saw no reason to leave he still does live in that house. He lives in a house that he bought for $330,000.
A guy that worth billions of dollars lives in the same house and nobody is coming to visit him?
No, people come all the time. Yeah, he still has security. I read about that because I thought the same thing. It's like, man, he lives in a regular neighborhood and people don't come to visit him. Yeah, like people try to stop by all the time. He still has security, and they have to stop him. But yeah, he still lives in the same house, man. Same fucking place.
I had to look that one up.
And Bill Gates, more often than not, doesn't drive. But when he does drive, Bill Gates, cars aren't his thing. Some of these guys, like, if they want nice things, they can buy them, and they probably have in the past. right? But maybe it just doesn't do anything for
Or
them.
you
Some
just
people
don't
just
feel
don't
with
do
it.
anything. Well, see, and that's like it's so ingrained in people that, you know, if you're rich, the richest people I knew, they did not dress flashy. They did not drive expensive things. You know, it's all the people that just get money. They're like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to be flashy with it. Or like a guy that's worth $50 million. He's not driving around in a Ferrari all the time. He may have one. But he's driving around in, you know, a car that most people who make a decent amount of money can get. A lot of people do that, man. They just go for value.
A lot of people that are rich show one hand to the public and another hand when they're around the people in a social economic, you know, in that group. Because I know a dude that owns a bank and he dresses normal, but at the end of the day, he bought a few $1 million car. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I know another dude.
You spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. I don't understand what you're trying to get at. Like that, you think that because you're rich, you have to go out and buy flashy things or like super nice things all the time.
I never
Maybe
said that.
people just like Camrys. Well,
I never
I'm
said
trying
that.
to understand what you're getting at. I didn't say you.
The only thing I was saying is that with the whole Bill Gates thing and Warren Buffett, I'm just saying I believe it's a strategy they use in order to not get people as jealous, because white people get jealous also. You can, white people, if they, I mean, look at what's that one place in Tulsa, Black Wall Street. White people got jealous in that situation and burned it down.
Green something.
No, it's called Black Wall Street. But the thing is, like, if you know, like, just think about it. When you think about athletes and celebrities, all the news is about what they make, no matter what color the person is. Oh, this person made this one. He just got Mike Trout just got $300 million contract or whatever. You know, so they know. You know, people are watching. People are watching your pockets, especially when they don't feel that they can actually get to that point. And it's not like these like the toughest guys in the world. It's not like these are the toughest guys in the world. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I think I disagree with the strategy thing. You also did pick the two of the richest people in the world. I really don't think they give a fuck.
Look at Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos dresses nice.
Yeah, that's how Jeff Bezos wants to.
Exactly. I'm just saying. Like, yeah, he's gonna dress nice, but Jeff Bezos ain't around regular people no more either.
Well, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, from what I understand, they're not really day-to-day people in their companies anymore. You know, Jeff Bezos is. You know, so he still dresses like, you know, he's still trying to grow his company. I'm sure that Warren Buffett and Bill Gates are, but they're kind of chilling right now. Jeff Bezos is still kind of going ham on shit. You know, he's trying to take over the world still. You know, and maybe he just likes to dress like that. I know personally, if I had $1 billion, I'm not wearing a fucking suit ever again. You know.
So if you go to a gala or something like that, you're just gonna go up in there with a t-shirt and shorts?
Me? As a billionaire? Fuck yeah. Yeah. I probably wouldn't go to the gala, honestly. Like, I don't give a fuck about it. Look at Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's worth almost $500 million. Dude dresses in Timbs and sweatshirts and hockey shirts all day because he finally got to the point where he doesn't have to impress anybody anymore.
Yeah, I don't think maybe it's not more about impressing people as it is dressing nice and looking nice. You know?
Yeah, some people don't give a fuck about that.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
hey, everybody's different.
Honestly, if I had $1 billion, I'd dress. You know, I wear my house shoes everywhere. You know, if I wanted to dress nice and look nice, I know I could. But if I felt like going out, like I'm not gonna, do the Kanye. Like I can't even go to the grocery store without some ones that's clean and a shirt with the team. Like I don't care.
But look at Kanye West dresses. Do you think he dresses extravagant?
Yeah, but he also talked about it. That's his thing.
So you think he dresses extravagant?
I think he dresses. Everything that Kanye West wears when he walks out of the house is probably over $1,000 easy.
I'm talking about the way. Yeah, I'm just talking about the way it looks. Because it's not flashy.
The way
Kanye he doesn't really dress flashy to me like
he considers it high fashion.
A rapper.
He considers it high fashion because sometimes he'll walk out there with stuff he considers high fashion. But to you and me, it looks, It looks like regular people shit. Because if you look closer, like everything you is some kind of designer or something.
I don't know.
Right?
A lot of stuff I see, he doesn't even have a
label,
a logo on it. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's part of the trend now too. Is wearing logos is kind of like it's not really the thing.
Well, I don't know. It just depends because I still see people wear Nike. I still see people wear Jordan brand. I still see people wear Champion. So it really just depends on, I guess, the person's style and what it is at the time. Like
when we were growing up, you could get Remember when we were growing up, you could get Champion at fucking Walmart for like $5. Now it's $50 for a fucking hoodie.
Well, you can still get it for cheap. You can get it for like $30-something.
I have a Champion hoodie.
I just went. Matter of fact, I just went to what's that store? Home Goods or something like that, or TJ Maxx or one of them. It's one of those stores.
Oh, you went to my store? I own that store, by the way.
Right. And I just got something that was Champion for like $20. I'm not into name brands as much anymore. I'm more so into different stuff because one thing about name brands, you don't want to be stuck with something and then it goes out of style. I've seen that happen too many times, and I've been stuck with stuff where it's just not in style anymore, and it's like, man, this is stupid.
Oh, you're wearing all your Tommy Hilfiger and Nautica shit?
No, we're not none of that. I used to wear.
Wearing your Pelly Pell and your Mecca shit.
Yeah, that stuff go out of style, man. You just stuck with it, But back to the whole Broner situation. I did, on a positive note, he did. One thing he did say is he has rich friends, so that just goes back to the people you're around. So it's good that he has a good support system, I guess, that they would actually help him get out of jail and help him while he's trying to get back on his feet, because it's important to be around people that can get things done. So it kind of goes back to my point of you have to be discriminate about who you actually hang around and who you give your time to and what kind of information you put into your head, because I'm pretty sure Broner still has some people around that's just kind of like mooching. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure the rich friends didn't. Maybe they gave him free money, but ain't nothing free, man.
But that's true.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing's free.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, out of the kindness of their heart, when Adrian Broner was out there robbing people, you give a fuck about him.
Well, no, they didn't.
People are real selfish, man. They don't like to really help other people out. Those people are just like in it for them. What can you do for me? And I'm sure at least one of them. Hopefully, it was an altruistic, thing that they did, gesture that they did. But if it wasn't, yeah, they're gonna want something out of it. Like next time there's tickets or something, they're like, "Hey, I'm not paying for the front row, bro."
I mean, that's cool. I mean, if somebody say, "Hey, I'm gonna get you out of jail," or "I'm gonna give you this money as long as you give me some front row tickets," that's cool. I'm talking about you don't want somebody to be like a loan shark or anything like that. But I mean, I'm pretty sure he has to pay it off, and he's gonna pay it off when he actually fights again, because he's set to fight in January, I believe. So, it can be just like basically like looked at as an advance. Hey, I know you good for it, man. Because some people do loan people money.
He should stay in jail. That's probably some of the best fight training you can get.
I don't know about that. But on a positive note, I did notice that he got out and looks like he took some responsibility for some of his spending. And not that I'm judging him, like I said, this is just a story that's out there, and I wouldn't necessarily be talking about it any other time. So
Right.
I'll talk about it in a situation like this. But he did set out some goals to achieve some more positive goals,
Well,
and it looks like he's gonna put in the work to achieve those goals. So hopefully, it works out for him at the end. People, I know that people love to build you up and tear you down. So we also like that comeback story.
Yeah, 100%. I hope it works out for him. It's just like one of those, Cincinnati doesn't have a lot of people coming out of it where you could really just be like, man, I'm really proud of that dude. So Broner came out, and I'm proud of his record. I just feel, I watch him, and I just feel like he gets distracted, he gets caught up in stuff, and that's what causes him to lose. I think he should still be undefeated. And I think the fights that he did lose, I think he was just a little too unfocused, I guess. I don't know. He lost to Manny Pacquiao.
And who else?
And before that, he hasn't won a fight in 3 years. Before that, he lost to. I don't know everybody else's name. I just know the 2 years. I think he lost his last 3 fights, something like that. But the first one that I know that he lost, he was talking a lot of shit. I don't know the other guys' names. I just know that Adrian Broner lost.
He lost to good competition, man. He lost to Sean Porter. He lost to Sean Porter. Sean Porter is a pretty top-ranked boxer. He lost to Manny Pacquiao, like you said, which is a Hall of Fame boxer, right? He lost to Marcos Maidana, which, Marcos Maidana in the first fight against Floyd Mayweather, people were saying that he was either in the fight or won the fight. So much so that they had to do a rematch. But so he's fought. It's not like he's losing to bums.
Well, that's good.
Maybe he does need focus, but maybe he just he just fought better competition. Because at the end of the day, it's only a few boxers that will go undefeated. When you get to the point where you have to fight the best, somebody's gonna have to lose, right? Because sometimes you come in there.
Right.
Manny Pacquiao lost at least 6 times.
Well, my whole thing is I really don't mind if people are in the news. They could be in the news for almost anything, right? I'm a little more critical of people that come out of Cincinnati. I want them to be. They don't have to be pristine either. But it just seems like he's always in the news for. And let's give him the benefit of doubt on every single thing that he was in the news for, jail-wise, right, or court-wise. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. So that's the only time they show him. And maybe it's not the kid's fault. Maybe it's not the dude's fault, right? It's just like the times that I do hear him speak about certain things, or he gets he kind of goes out there. He did that homophobic thing that one time.
Well, homophobic thing.
Man. He I forget what the exact quote was, but I think he tweeted or he said it. I don't know if he tweeted or he said it straight up to a microphone. But he did kind of like what a Manny Pacquiao did. Like, he said something like, shooting homophobes, something like that. Something about
Manny Pacquiao did?
Manny Pacquiao did, and Adrian Broner did.
What did Manny Pacquiao say?
This is when he was running the Philippines. I think he said something that it's against God.
Oh, he's a Christian.
That. Yeah. He said it's against God, blah, blah, blah. No, it was a little harsher than that.
I said, how did Manny Pacquiao become a Christian?
Huh?
How did Manny Pacquiao become a Christian?
How
did that happen? Yeah, I don't think that's like the that was like I think it's like a bunch of Muslims in the Philippines also now.
Are they?
I think so. Yeah, I watched this episode of Locked Up Abroad, and they were talking about it was some of the Muslims, one of those terrorist groups up there or something like that. I guess they got radicalized or something. I don't know.
Huh. They're getting closer.
What'd you say?
They're getting closer.
What do you mean?
Muslims, man, they're taking over.
Are they? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't follow that shit.
Don't know.
I don't know.
Isn't that a anti-Muslim joke, man?
No, that's a tongue-in-cheek
Oh,
joke.
so okay.
Yeah.
So maybe
Broner
Broner and Pacquiao were making tongue-in-cheek comments then.
No.
Okay. Well,
I'm making fun of people who think all Muslims are evil. They straight up said they did not like homosexuals.
Muslims?
No.
Or are you saying the Pacquiao and Oh,
Pacquiao
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we all have room to go. Yeah, I might check it out. I might not. It ain't not that big of a deal, but
yeah, it's not that
the fact
big
of the matter is,
you can tell when someone's doing tongue in cheek, I guess.
Who is Pacquiao to judge?
Right. I don't get it. I don't get it. I just don't. I want to live and let live, man.
Yeah, as long as you're not intruded on me. But one thing, yes, as long as you ain't intruded on me, like just don't come at me with it.
Yeah, it's like who gives a fuck? If you light your own house on fire, hey, do you, man?
The thing is, I don't really get with that is that who cares if you like the same sex? Well, what do you have to be? Because it's just like if I was like, you know what, I like women. Yeah, I'm happy about that. For real. I mean, isn't that what it's about? Or is this something different? Is this like a culture? Because that's when it's confusion that means there's not clarity, and people don't really clarify what they're talking about, because then they want to tell you a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man, and it's about your choice when you're born. The doctor assigns you this gender. There's no such thing as gender and all this other stuff. Like,
my thing is if I go up to you and you look like a man and I call you a man, right? Go ahead and correct me. Be like, oh no, I prefer to be called a woman. Okay, I don't give a shit. But don't jump down my throat. Like don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, look, you're asking everybody else to change for you, my friend. Right?
Yeah.
And maybe one day that'll happen, but you got to give the rest of us some time. Now, either wear a fucking sign around your neck, or just chill the fuck out when you correct me.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, you can't be walking around here thinking everybody looks at you and goes, "Oh, woman." You got a fucking beard.
Right. Do you remember that? You ever seen that one?
Dave Chappelle?
No, man. You just gotta listen, man. You gotta listen. You ever see that one clip with a person? I think they were in GameStop. It was a man, and he was like, "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry, sir." And he was like, "Ma'am, call me ma'am." You don't remember that? You never seen that?
No.
Yeah, it was like this dude. It was a white dude, and something happened. I want to say he was in a GameStop or something, and he was complaining, and then the clerk was like, "I'm sorry, sir," and he was like, "Ma'am, call me ma'am," but he was kind of just like a dude, and he looked like a dude. He was like, he was like a tall dude, looked like he was like 6 feet tall, broad shoulders, and all that stuff, and. But it kind of goes back to your point, what you were saying, like how do you expect people to know? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you saying,
right, and I have no problem with it. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, like, yeah, I'll call you ma'am. Sorry about that, whatever. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even apologize. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll call you ma'am.
But think about how illogical that is.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna, don't jump down my throat because I didn't know. I mean, that's the dumbest shit. If I make a joke about, like a really, really stupid joke, like a your mama joke, and I just met you, and you get all pissed, like, my mom's dead, motherfucker, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's obviously something you need to deal with if you're going to walk around in the world. Because I'm not going to stop telling these fucking jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it just don't make sense to me. I'm just more so saying, if you're saying...
I'm saying people are too sensitive, and, people jump down your throat for shit they think you should know when you have no way of knowing.
Yeah, I can get that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can get that, because if you're saying there are no genders and you were born, and you're a woman and you're born with a vagina, and then you say, well, I'm not a woman because I don't identify as a woman, but, you dressed up like traditional women do, and I say, hello, ma'am, or something like that, excuse me, ma'am, and you say, call me sir, how would I know unless you actually tell me,
Right.
'cause we get into that.
Just fucking say it nicely. Like, just say it nicely. No, call me sir. Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I just keep walking and get out of your way.
Yeah, whatever you want, man.
Because you can't expect everybody to say, oh, yeah, this is a woman, this is a man, or this is not a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can have two people that are the same color, that are the same height, that are wearing the same outfit, that were born with the same genitalia, that will say one of them is a woman and one of them is a man. And how would you be able to distinguish them?
Right. Like, you're supposed to reach down there and check. I mean,
well, even if you reach down there and check and they still have those parts, they can still say they're not. Yeah, it's about what they think.
If they're pre-op.
Yeah, it's just period. It's about what they think. It's people. I saw in a Breakfast Club where Malik Yoba had these transsexuals on there, where they were saying even if a guy does have a penis, he's a woman. So, like I said, this is what we're getting at. So, it's gonna get worse since Trump lost.
Yeah. Fucking. I was talking to my neighbor. So listen to the story. It's kind of funny. So my neighbor, the black dude, my neighbor, and it's important that he's a black dude in this story. So he was like, "Hey man, I got something for you." So I came over to his. It is. So I came over to his house, and he handed me the sign. It said "Black Voices for Trump," and on the back it said "Text woke to 808066." I'm like, "Oh, all right." I was like, "Where'd you get this?" He was like, "Dude, I was at the gym, and this lady fucking blew my hair back for 45 minutes." Talking about how black people need to vote for Trump. I was like, why did she start voting for Trump? Blah, blah, blah. He was like, dude, it was a white lady. I was like, what? She's going around like giving like these signs out? She's like, yeah.
Well, she probably is. I guess she. I don't. That's what people do, right?
Hold on. Story's not over. Here's the best part. She was like, well, you're a nice young man. He was like, well, thank you very much, ma'am. I already voted. I know exactly who I'm going to give this sign to. And she goes, my two adopted black kids would just love you. He goes, all right, okay, have a good day.
Yeah, two adopted black kids.
Yeah. She does
have some. Yeah, exactly. Another form of slavery.
And Trump's just being a bitch, man. He's being a whiner.
Or maybe he did get cheated, right?
Huh?
I said maybe he did get cheated.
I seriously doubt it.
I mean, didn't they say he lost Arizona, then he won Arizona, he won this state, then he lost this state? I mean,
no. So it's going back and forth because we had the most. Typically, mail-in ballots are negligible, right? And most states count them after they count the day of ballots, right? And they've been saying this for weeks. They've literally been saying this for weeks.
Yeah, to prep
this was going to happen. Right. They've been saying this exact thing was going to happen for weeks. Now, in certain states, states have their own laws about counting votes. So states are used to, and for them to change their ways, like it was probably more trouble than they wanted to go through. But then they weren't ready for exactly how many votes were going to come in. So they count the mail-in ballots afterwards. Trump shot himself in the foot because he said all mail-in ballots are fraud. Well, he was setting this all up. All mail-in ballots are fraud. Absentee ballots are fraud. He was setting it up for weeks because he knew this was going to happen. So Pennsylvania is one of those states where they got like 1.5 million absentee ballots and mail-in ballots.
That's a lot.
And their state counts those after the election. And you don't have as many volunteers as you do on election day.
I heard at one place they had 1,000 votes come in for Biden in the area. None for Trump. This is what I heard.
It was 100,000. So it was Wisconsin. It was 130,000 votes. Now,
and none of them for Trump.
And none for Trump. Now, hold on.
Come on, man.
You're not listening. This screenshot came from an obscure website that all they do is, they count ballots. What they did is they had a clerical error that they fixed within half an hour.
Okay.
They fixed it within half an hour on Wednesday morning. They're like, oh, fuck.
Or maybe it was a whistleblower.
No, because no one even knew about this. Trump didn't get it till an hour later. So no one knew about this, and they're like, oh, fuck, man, we got to fix this. So they fixed it. It was a clerical error. That was it. So they fixed it. People are still sending that fucking screenshot out today. Even though they were like, hey, this was fixed. It was fixed within a half an hour. It was a clerical error. We apologize. So Trump got his votes. The votes were distributed evenly. But that's all people want to focus on. No one wants to go and do research to see what happened. Nobody knows what website it came from. They don't want to go out there and figure it out, spend 5 minutes on Google. They just want to believe that he had to be robbed. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Possibility.
Everything that they're doing.
It's not like the Democrats are the most honest people in the world.
No, not necessarily, but on what scale you would have to commit fraud to rig an election? I mean, it would have to be absolutely fucking huge. It would have to be huge. I wouldn't even know how you do it.
You tell a big lie. I seen something
there's no way it's fraud.
On the internet where Joe Biden said we have the most he said something to the effect that we have the most sophisticated voter fraud program going today or something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Well, it's going to be more sophisticated every time, but still, there's always been voter fraud in every election. When there was in the beginning, did you ever see, what was it, the movie Daniel Day-Lewis and Gangs of New York?
No.
Gangs of New York, they would have people go in with beards, vote, come back with their faces shaved to a mustache, vote, shave the mustache off, change their clothes, vote. They would say, go vote early and go vote often.
Oh, okay.
So there's always been fraud. I mean, it was a lot easier back then. Now you're talking about a massive, massive scale over many, 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 many states. You're talking about a gigantic conspiracy. That would be impossible to pull off. You have people counting votes that would have to be part of the conspiracy, and it would have to be almost all of them would have to be part of the conspiracy.
Did you hear about one place where the pipes burst in one of the pro-Trump counties? I think that was in Georgia. Yeah.
So, I mean, what does that have to do with anything? Like, if this happened at some other time, no one would care. It wouldn't be fraud. And if it was a pro-Trump county, it's probably in the middle of nowhere anyway.
So, are you excited about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris being your president and vice president?
I'm excited about not Trump. I'm excited about not Trump.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you, are you excited about Joe Biden?
I gave you my answer.
So that's a no.
I gave you what I'm excited about.
That's a no.
No, I gave you what I'm excited about.
No. If you can't, it's a direct question. Yes or no? Are you excited about Joe Biden?
You can't tell me yes or no. I'm not playing these games, man. These yes or no games.
No,
I'm going to answer how I want to answer.
It's a simple question.
No. You say whatever you want, man. I gave you my answer.
When a person can't answer a direct question, they don't like the answer.
No, I don't care either way. I just told you what I'm excited about. Am I particularly excited about Kamala and Biden? No.
Okay. Then.
I just told you what I am excited about.
Okay. So what did Trump do that was so bad?
His is horrible, man. He incites people. Rhetoric.
Okay, well, look. So what did he do that was different under Obama?
Obama didn't incite people.
How did he incite people?
What Trump does, so Trump isn't even a Republican. He's a Trumpian. Okay, and people that follow him are the same people that put those pictures up about the votes and shit like that. Whatever he says, they don't look into it. They just follow him blindly, and he knows that. And what he's doing is he doesn't give a fuck about America. He gives a fuck if he wins or not.
That's your opinion, but the whole thing is Democrats do the same thing, right?
What do you mean?
Well, you got black people that voted for Joe Biden, and Joe Biden made that crime bill to put away, I think they said 800,000 black people.
Yeah, he also said it was a mistake, and that was a long time ago during the war on drugs.
Then where's the reparations at?
Well, you got to remember Joe Biden's been there through all
a race.
this.
We got to remember.
Well,
Joe
they
Biden
thought it was a good thing to do it at Trump. No, you're doing too much.
It's documented.
You're doing too much.
It's documented. Joe
Why
Biden
do
is a
people
racist.
care? So why? Well, you're doing too much.
I'm not doing.
You're thinking way too much.
The truth.
Okay, fine. He's fine. Just call him Ray. I don't give a shit. But you're talking about somebody who's been there for like 50 fucking years. He's been up and down through America before we learned things, before we actually got to the point that where we are with trying to bridge this gap and heal this divide between kinds of Americans, right? And he even said it was wrong. He's never been in power.
So then why isn't he doing anything about it?
What the fuck is he going to do as a fucking senator? What was he going to do?
He was vice president.
He was vice president. What is a vice president?
As a senator, he wrote the bill.
Okay, but what does the vice president do?
As a senator,
Nothing.
He wrote the bill.
Vice presidents don't do shit. Now, if you really feel that strongly about it, if you really feel that strongly about it, the only time he really can do anything, and again, I don't care if he wrote the bill as a senator.
Because you weren't affected by it.
It was a different time.
Was affected by it. My community was affected by it. I said, you don't care because you weren't affected by it. My community was affected by it.
No, that's not it at all.
Yes, it was.
No. You don't tell me why I care or why I don't care. You don't tell me that. We already talked about it. You don't know what I'm thinking.
I'm telling you. Well, then don't tell me what I'm thinking. Because my community was affected by it. I saw it.
I haven't told you once.
I haven't told you once
what you're thinking. I haven't told you once what you were thinking. I haven't told you once why you care or don't care.
You said,
no, I didn't.
People like
no,
me,
I didn't.
I'm going to tell you when you said it. You said people like me and you think what Kanye wears is bland or something to that effect.
No.
You did say that.
I never said people like me. Rewind the tape.
You did say that.
I've never once. Actually, you can go back.
You said that.
You can go back. Hold on, man. Now you're talking over me, man. I'm just gonna bounce. You can go back to every time we've ever talked on the phone. Never once have I told you what you're thinking or why or not you care about something.
You just spoke up and said we, people like me and you, think what Kanye wears is nothing special, basically.
I said we may. But even if I said that, hold on, wait. Even if I said that we're talking about Kanye West, you're not telling, we're not talking about a whole group of fucking people. You're going to compare the two things? Are you serious?
I'm comparing the fact that you don't say that.
Are you for real? Are you real?
Yeah.
For real?
I'm saying that you said you don't say that, and I have a documented case where you just spoke for me, where you just spoke for me, which is reading somebody's mind.
About Kanye West?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And
so
you're telling me.
Is it a scale where you cannot speak to somebody?
No, hold on, man. Hold on. No, you're telling me I don't care about something that's a huge issue, and you're comparing that to me assuming that you see the same thing that I do in Kanye West, right?
Okay.
Just to win an argument, right?
I don't argue with people.
That's what you're saying.
I just state the facts.
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying, man. You're not winning right now.
There's no argument to win.
You're not winning.
There is no argument.
You're not winning, bro.
Okay. Well, you won. Now let's get back on Joe Biden. Now let's get back on Joe Biden. All right. Joe Biden put away a lot of black people, and he hasn't done anything to rectify that.
Again, when did he have the power to rectify that?
When he was a senator. He had the power to put the bill into writing. He implemented it, so he had the power to do something about it.
I'm not going to go over and over and over it again.
But he's the president now, right? He's the president now, right?
Maybe.
So if
if
he is
you want
the
him
president,
to rectify it,
right.
If he doesn't rectify it while he's president, then maybe you have an argument. He already apologized for writing the bill. He already apologized for all that shit.
Apology doesn't work though, because a lot of black people lost their fathers. A lot of families were devastated by it.
I get it, but what is he going to do? Obama tried to even bring the subject up, and he couldn't do it.
He tried to bring it up.
Ran the whole thing.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay. So how did he try to bring the subject up?
He brought it up all the time, man. Like damn near every speech he was talking about, we need to fix this, this. When it comes to race.
This.
Man, I don't need to get all fucking specific, man. Just go back and just fucking put it in there, or I'll look it up and you put it in there.
I don't ever remember Obama saying he was going to fix anything about race or help black people specifically.
All right. Okay.
I know.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, man.
Do you know of any time where he said he was specifically going to do something for black people?
Off the top of my head, can I quote it?
No, I'm just saying.
Could I find it pretty easily? Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
okay,
I think I could probably find it pretty easily.
You know about positive for me there? Because I don't know of anything Obama said he was going to do for us. And then Kamala Harris is on tape saying, I'm not going to do anything for black people specifically. No.
What I'm hearing from you, man, is I'm hearing a lot of complaining. I'm not hearing a lot of solutions.
The solution is...
you're bombarding me with these questions. Well, what did he do for us? What did he do for us? What did he do for us? What are you doing for you?
I'll give you some solutions.
Well, you're a grown-ass man. Come up with some solutions.
Well, I'm giving you solutions. We need to do as far as black people, we need to go ahead and circle our wagons, get our economic base together. We need to become our own. We need to go as a block. As you can see in this election, the Democrats lost a lot of the black vote, and it's not going to get any better in the future. And if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris don't do anything this time, you're going to see a lot of black people either vote independent or Republican.
Why?
It's a new time. It's a new time.
Well, why do you think Republicans are going to do any better for you?
Well, the thing is, they might not do anything better, but we're not going to continue to vote for people that don't do anything for us and undermine us.
But haven't Republicans? Who is that who started the war on drugs?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's still going on.
So we had Democratic. So we had Democratic presidents since then, right?
Sure.
And they didn't do anything to stop the war on drugs.
We did. So the war on drugs they thought was working.
Well, I just said. Well, the war on drugs was only about black people, and they even have tapes where they said that.
I understand that. I get that. I understand that. Crack was, I don't know, 10 times worse than cocaine as far as incarceration.
And this is Joe Biden's law.
Right. And yeah, white collar versus like blue collar, basically drug crimes. Like I understand that. I understand the war on drugs. The war on drugs is a failure. It's an absolute failure. And I do understand it costs a lot of lives. It costs a lot of families. And technically it was. And technically, I guess it was the CIA. Because they just let it happen because of Iran-Contra, right?
Yeah, George H. Bush.
Yeah. And Ollie North. Because they just wanted to win the war so bad, they let the guy go ahead and sell drugs with impunity. Then Rick Ross was talking about that. They made, they made crack because they could make more money, I think, or something like that, or they didn't get enough or whatever. They didn't get as much as big players, so, Freeway Rick Ross made all this crack. It was really bad in L.A. Honestly, so Joe Biden and other Democratic candidates, you have to get momentum, and you have to get people to agree with you, even when you're president, in order to change things. I'm sure Joe Biden, because this has been brought up a lot, he said he was wrong. He said it was a horrible idea. He's sorry he did it. Now he will have the opportunity to be able to go in there, reach across the aisles, and see if he can get something done. From what I understand, he won't have to change that many Republican votes to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Joe Biden said his priority was the LGBT community once he gets elected.
And that's a shame. It really is. Because I think, nothing against them, but I really, really think racism needs to be addressed. We need to spend most of our time on that.
Joe Biden said he didn't want his kids in a racial jungle.
I know. He said all that, but I still think he's better than Trump.
Okay.
I still think. Well, hold on now. No, well, think about it. You got a guy going out there encouraging people to just listen to him, ignore facts.
Are you talking about Joe Biden?
No, Trump.
Oh, okay.
Listen to him, ignore facts, ignore. And Joe Biden said ignore his history too, which is dumb. But Trump does it on the daily. He's like, ignore this. It's not for me. Ignore it. Ignore this. It's not for me. Ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore it. Ignore it. Right? Dude went out and he claimed that he won a state that only had like 50% reporting. That's dangerous, dude. That's dangerous. Now, let's say Joe Biden is just fucking Trump in a different suit. At the very least, he won't cause more divisiveness through Twitter.
Oh,
okay. Okay. Do you understand? Like a lot of people aren't going to go into and check out his policies and shit like that. People don't do that now with Trump's policies. They don't do it with Biden's policies. I don't spend a lot of time just like going around looking at policies.
Joe Biden, if he don't get this together, it's gonna be some people. It's gonna be some white folks in them streets.
What if Biden doesn't get it together?
Yes, because
I agree.
And these father groups, these fathers understand, especially these white fathers, understand that they've been sold out. And people call every Trump voter a racist, and that's not true. Maybe they just understand that they've been sold out, and they're not gonna. It's not gonna fly well. I can tell you that. And then, like I said, if you look at the numbers. Hold on for a second. If you look at the numbers, a lot of Hispanics voted for Trump this time around, and it's going to be more the next time around. A lot of black people voted for Trump. So the Republicans, this is their chance, whether they do something or not. But I'm telling you, a lot of white people in these groups, feel throw it out, man.
And see if the fire wasn't, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe it's a horrible. I don't think it's a bad reason, but maybe it's a horrible reason. But Biden's not going to go on there and spew hatred. But what Trump did, 90% of why these people are mad has nothing to do with fucking policies. Nobody ever talks policies at these fucking Proud Boy rallies and shit. It's just very simple.
Proud Boys. I'm talking about the everyday American. I'm not talking about the Proud Boys. I'm talking about the everyday American. Everyday white person. They getting tired of hearing that they racist. They getting tired of hearing about immigration and how bad they are. They getting tired. And I'm not a defense. I'm not a defense. I'm just telling you what I'm saying, and I can understand it. Dude, they've been sold out, and a lot of them are saying this, and they didn't just vote for Trump because they racist. Some people. They just felt like, hey, man, I'm tired of the same old politician telling me the same old crap. And, they know Trump is perfect, but he's definitely different than this Joe Biden. Joe Biden has been around for 40-something years. What is he going to
I understand. And, a lot of people, they like Trump because, well, he just tells it like it is. Well, he tells it like he sees it and you see it. And that's why they like him.
Another thing, we better not get in a war. They better not get us in another war, because that's another thing Joe Biden is war. So,
well, yeah.
For real, we better not be in another war.
No, for real. I thought we were going to go to war with North Korea with Trump.
He stopped that though. Everything was smoothed out.
No, Kim Jong-un decided not to. Kim Jong-un stepped back.
It was on the doorstep. At least that's how they made it seem. Like it could have happened.
Yeah,
but
And he kept my whole thing is like, you don't stoke the fire. You don't poke the bear. That doesn't make anything better, right? Like, even if they are the same exact person, the average American, Republican or not, or especially Republicans, with Trump, they just read his tweets. Just read his tweets.
Not everybody is on Twitter, man. Trump probably has like 3 million. He probably has like 3 million Twitter followers. Just like 300 something million.
Everybody doesn't need to be on Twitter, because my Twitter account, something happened to it, and I haven't been on Twitter in years. But I see everything Trump tweets. It's always on the news. It's always on, it's always some kind of article, online about what he tweeted. Here's what Trump tweeted today. Here's what he did today. Here's what he did today.
So let me ask you this then. Trump said Joe Biden was corrupt, right?
Joe Biden what now?
He said Joe Biden was corrupt. He said they were a crime family. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. Like, I didn't see enough facts. I really don't. I've seen the articles and stuff. I don't fucking know. I don't know what to believe. But if they're a crime family, then I'm a crime family. You're a crime family.
No. Don't say you're a crime family. No, don't put me. Don't put me in that. That's what I'm saying. Don't speak for me. Don't put me in that.
No, you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to make a point. Is like, I don't fucking know. Is Trump a crime family? Most politicians crime families.
I don't know. But I'm just based off the evidence. If just some of the evidence, you know what I'm saying? If just some of the evidence, is real.
Well, yeah, but just some of the evidence was true with Trump and Russia. It would have been a different story, and it was, and that didn't matter.
If it was
I really
real,
don't care.
He would have been impeached, though. There's no way there's no way our agencies would have let a sitting president be compromised by another country if it was true.
The FBI said it was 100% true.
Then why didn't they
convict
convict him?
Why they didn't convict him? I think it was something that had to do with God, what was it? It was so long ago. It was people couldn't testify.
Oh, okay. But what
they didn't allow testimony. I think Trump either sued, or he had some lackey that said that the witnesses against him, didn't have to testify.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. It was something a lot like that.
Yeah.
No, for real. It was something like, man, don't fuck with me. I'm serious.
I'm just asking the question, and you just seem like you pulling the straws, man.
No, it's it's not. I'm just trying to remember, because I know, like, I'm 90% correct here. People weren't allowed to testify against him.
So what was the point of making a case for him against him anyway, then, if they knew this?
They didn't know that.
So they didn't know. They didn't know that he can do that if they brought upon witnesses as the president.
Nope. No, he can't do that. And I don't know how he got away with it, but that's what they were talking about. It was like an injunction or something. I forget how they stopped him, but they did stop him. They stopped people from testifying. And because I think he had to vote on it. Thank you. I think he had to vote on it in the House. And it was mostly Republicans, so the Republicans voted against having those people testify. That sounds about 90% true.
Oh, okay. My
memory serves.
Yeah. Hey.
Wait, hey, man! If I don't get it 100% correct, just go look it up yourself. You'll see.
Yeah. We're gonna see what's gonna happen here. Like I said, if Trump don't win, which is looking like he won't. I mean, either way.
I got a question for you. Do you think he'll go out graciously?
I mean, I don't know. That don't look like that's what he's about. I mean, he already told you before. I mean, that's my whole thing with this guy. So it's not like he kind of tells you what it is. He told you before. Hey, if I feel like they said, are you gonna be a peaceful transition if I lose? He said maybe or something like that, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
he didn't think he was going to lose his block.
He's saying what it is. He thought it would have had to been a landslide for him to I don't know this for sure, but I'm just saying I think it would have had to be a landslide. Yeah, because I don't think he wants to. I don't know. He could just be grandstanding. I don't know. Somebody had a theory. Somebody had a theory that on one of these political shows is that Trump will run again.
Yeah, 2024, he can run again if he wants to.
That's what people are saying he might do. That's what this one pundit said. That just his opinion.
That's because Eric Jr., because I've been watching this pretty closely the last couple of days, is Eric Jr. There's another thing I want to talk about, too.
I mean, Donald Jr.
If you look at the vote maps. But Eric Trump Jr., he said...
You mean Donald Trump Jr.?
We're going to remember all this. Yes, sorry about that. Donald Trump Jr. said that... he goes, we're going to remember all these GOP people that didn't stand up for my dad when we run in 2024. So that's why everybody's saying it.
Yeah, because they got to be afraid of him because these guys are not. See, the thing is, what I noticed is that they can speak differently than the politicians because they don't need. These are the people that the politicians get their money from. You know, so they don't need to go to other people necessarily because Donald Trump didn't raise as much money as Joe Biden. You know,
right.
So they have their own money, and then they have the personality and the cult following, if you will. You know, so I think we might.
Well, I think it could be. They're thinking. Some people think that, you know, they're going to try to make it a dynasty. You know, first it's going to be Donald, then it might be Ivanka, then it might be Junior. You know, that's how he kind of envisioned it. Huh?
Yeah, that's possible. That is possible.
I mean, the Bushes did it.
Donald Trump Jr. doesn't have the history that Donald Trump has as far as racism, so it'd be hard to pin that on him, right? You know what he said?
I guess. You know, Donald Trump is the least racist person in the room.
That's what he said. When he said that, I mean, everybody's antenna should go up.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I saw when he said that, but that's not the first time he said that, though. That's not the first
Did
time
you fucking look around? Like, did anybody else hear
that? No, because like I said, I heard him say it before. So, and I just look at it as, okay, well, you know, he just being Donald Trump. You know, Trump being Trump.
Okay, so here's one thing I want to talk about. Have you looked at the maps at all, the election maps?
No, not really. Not really. I kind of stopped looking at it after a while because it was almost like, is this, you know, it's like, is it real? Is it not real? Either way, is my life going to be affected that much? Yeah, with Joe Biden, because he's probably going to put a lot of LGBT policies out there and confuse a lot of the kids and have a lot of immigrants come in and undermine black people. But, you know, for the most part.
Because they're going to be walking up to their parents like, yeah, I'm not a boy anymore. I'm a girl.
Yeah, I think
so.
Shut the fuck
up, you're 6.
I just saw a billboard where a girl had one of those rainbow color masks on. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if kids, you know, at a certain age, like, you know, like at what age do you teach them about, you know, homosexuality and racism and stuff like that? I don't know because I don't have kids. I guess when it comes up, I don't fucking know. But you know, before you talk about that is, so you look at these maps, right? No matter where the map is, except maybe some of the middle of the country. If you look at the map, it'll show in each state, if you click on the state, it'll show all the counties. And the counties either red or blue or light red or light blue if it's leaning that way, right? Every major city that has a dot on the map, so for us it'd be Toledo, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, right? They're all blue. And everywhere in between is red. Unless it's a place that, you know, has a Institute of Higher Learning, like a college. You know, like Athens is way out east in the middle of nowhere. They're blue. And Yellow Springs is blue. Up by Dayton, where Dave Chappelle's from. So that's Ohio, right? And you could do that in every state. So what it kind of said to me is you can kind of see the effects of white flight and that nothing really has changed. Does that make sense? Not necessarily just white flight, right? But you can see how nothing's really changed. These people moved out to the suburbs and moved out to the sticks so they wouldn't have to intermingle with people that didn't look like them, right? and they're still voting that way. What is this, like 70 years later, 60 years later?
Yeah, man. But I seen a video of people in Nigeria. They had a parade for Donald Trump, and you see all these groups: Latinos for Donald Trump, blacks for Donald Trump. So
who's leading it? The guy in the truck that we talked about that one time?
He might be, but I'm just letting you know, a lot of people, a lot of these Hispanics voted for Trump. A lot of black people voted for Trump, or at least immigrant blacks. Maybe not American blacks, but the immigrant blacks did.
When I saw kind of what you said about, how Hispanics are racist, right? And we've talked about this a few times.
Well, not all, but I'm just saying some of them are.
Yeah. It's never all. It's never all, right? But how some Hispanics are just racist against black people. And then I saw these Hispanics voting for Trump. I'm like, this dude wanted to keep you out.
Well, I think what it is they're programmed like that. That's the whole point. And it's just like when the black immigrants come over here, they consider themselves to be different. And so a lot of times he's talking about them, not us. That's what it is. He's talking about those
right.
Hispanics. He talked about, because even in the Hispanic culture, there's different, there's differences. A person from Mexico and a person from Central America, they're going to be, they might be similar to us, and they might have a similar culture, but it's just like if you have a black person and an African person. You know what I'm saying? There's still going to be cultural differences, and there's still going to be somewhat of a hierarchy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and Van Jones mentioned that too. Today in America, we still look at Latinas and Latinos as Latinos and Latinos as all the same thing. But there's Cubans, there's Puerto Ricans, there's Guatemalans, and we need to learn to differentiate and understand. But so with the immigrants, with the Africans and or black non-Americans, and the Spanish-speaking community, do you think part of it is like, other than not identifying with each other as kind of in the same boat, do you think part of it's like a subservient thing, like a submissive thing?
Yeah, I think of course, because you come from one country and then you come into somebody else's country, you're going to be on your P's and Q's. And if you understand, hey, we can be put over this other group, the blacks, only thing we need to do is just, either join in or don't do anything, and we can have a better life than if we were at home. Then, a lot of people would do it. It's just like if you see somebody
anybody?
Well, hold on. If you see somebody getting bullied, you might not do nothing as long as the bully ain't doing it to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right. So if you could pick someone, and let's not talk about like being realistic if they win or not, right? So if you could pick someone that you would think would really turn this country, I don't want to say in your favor, but do things for the black community, who would it be?
A president? I think Kanye West.
You think he would?
Yeah, because I think so. You got to think like we need visionaries. It's just like when you look at we talk about when we work at jobs, right? How sometimes you get a person in authority that really doesn't know how to run anything. They really shouldn't be there. They don't really have a vision to grow the company or anything like that. And I think that's what it is with a lot of these politicians, man. These guys, they don't want to work, and the females, they don't want to work a regular job a lot of times. And they're basically like salespeople. They get their whole thing is to get you to vote for them, so the corporations and rich people can give them money so they can keep the masses in line, basically. So Kanye West doesn't really need your money, but he has ideas. His ideas are good. Look about Trump.
That'd be interesting.
Trump didn't know everything there is to run a country. That's why he has the Joint Chiefs of Staff. That's why he has a military and all kind of advisors. You know what I'm saying?
Who do you think Kanye's Well, obviously, vice president would be Jay-Z.
I don't think so.
Probably Kim. Probably Kim.
I forgot who the vice president was, but I mean, it just right now. I think the biggest thing we can do as Americans to really change this country for the better is continue to educate ourselves, self-educate, have an open mind, communicate with each other, look to understand, and just look to improve ourselves. And I think that and just think logically. Like, people don't really think logically. It's not that I'm the most logical thinker either, because I'm not. But...
No, and it's tough. It's tough. It's really tough. It's really tough. Like, I was talking to my friend today, and we need to get him on the show. He's one of our subscribers, but talking to him today, and we talked about the same thing. You and I talk about this a lot. Is once you find, and I talk about it all the time, is like once you find that skill and that quality of introspection, you're a totally different person, right? Taking those L's, I don't consider them losses. They're learning opportunities. But taking those times and seeing them as learning opportunities, and knowing you could be dead ass wrong sometimes, right? Is such a valuable thing. And people just don't want to take that step because it's too painful. I asked my friend because, he did a lot of growing in the past, 10 years of his life. And I asked him, I was like, how hard is it to admit you're wrong? Like, just fucking wrong. He's like, dude, it fucking sucks. But then you don't have to, he's got a way of putting things. It's like, you don't have to keep going down that same path over and over and over and wondering why nothing's changing. You sit there, you take your shot, you're like, oh. I mean, sometimes you need a kick in the ass. Sometimes you have to kick your own ass in order to change. But, to your point, is basically what I'm trying to say is people don't, you can't have, I mean, you can argue back and forth like we did earlier, but, you could still we could still bring ourselves back to like a civil conversation, For some people, that's the entire discussion. It's just yelling back and forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they don't want to do anything about it if the other person is right. That's the whole thing.
Right. Yeah, to admit the other person is right, yeah.
Well, even if you have to, even if you don't admit it, even if you think about it and say, well, you know what, this person is right. I mean, if it's right, then are you going to do anything to change it? And if not, then you just go ahead and keep denying it and keep running away from it.
I believe human beings, like, once that enters their mind, it becomes very hard. It becomes very hard for them to do the same thing that they know is wrong.
I don't think so.
No. Well, I think you have to delude yourself. You have to really, really try to convince yourself why what you're doing is right after that. You know what I mean? It may take a while for you to come around, but like if you tell me a truth right now that maybe I didn't know before or whatever, or that maybe I didn't believe, and then you explain it to me well, and I just sit there, and a part of my mind goes, fuck, man, that's right. And then every way I look at it, it's right. For me at least, it would be very hard to keep doing the opposite thing, knowing that the other way is actually the way to be.
You can tell people that drinking pop is bad for them, and you can give them the evidence, and they'll still keep doing it. You can tell them that fast food is bad for you, and they'll still keep doing it. You can show them proof that the politician that they love so much lied, and you can give them the proof on tape, politicians' own words, and they'll still vote for them. So I don't think so. People's strength of denial and delusion is pretty strong, man. It is.
I mean, I've done it to myself. You've done it to yourself, I'm sure, right? You've done it to yourself before, too?
I'm pretty sure we all done it.
Yeah.
Well, it's obviously we all done it. It's obvious we all done it because, I'm just going to say, you can go ahead.
No, I was just going to add to, it could be as simple as that pop, fast food analogy. Could be that simple. It's still a delusion.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes it's like, it's not even, you don't even consciously do it. See, we got a lot of people there. I call them the unconscious walking, or the walking unconscious, and the sleepwalkers. And I can be a sleepwalker also. It can all happen to us. Like, it can happen to us all. I mean, I know sometimes it's not good to have certain to eat certain foods, but I'll still eat it anyway, right? Sometimes I'm not even thinking about it.
Actually, Ta-Nehisi Coates came up with that, sleepwalking. I mean, he probably didn't come up with it, but yeah, he uses the same term for the same thing when it comes to racism.
He's a sleepwalker.
Who, Ta-Nehisi Coates?
Yeah.
You don't like him?
He's scared. He's scared. I don't know him. He's a scared.
Why do you think he's scared?
Because this thing you gotta to get like kind of the measuring stick of a black person. Ask them if you would rather have equality or if you would rather have black people be the number one socio-economic group in the country or the world. Or I would say the countries. And if they say equality,
so you would rather have him number one than equal, right?
I think we have to at this point. At this point, from what I'm seeing, when I see the white people are selling out other white people and white kids, we have to be able to step up and be an example to say this is a better way to do it. I mean, that's the only way, right? Talking about it really isn't as effective as doing it. Because if you get enough people to say, you know what, maybe this way is better. Maybe this way is better. Right? Then people will start.
I mean, I think I understand what you're saying. I understand as much as I can, I guess. Because obviously I would go for equality because we've been number one for a while.
What is number one really? And I can break this down another time. Like I said, dude, I'm talking to these guys, man. What is number one really? It's basically the whole LBJ, Machiavelli statement. People, you give people the opportunity to think that they can be a part of the oppressor class. You take their rights away. I've even had white people tell me that basically some of the things that they did to the black community was just a precursor to what they would do to the white community, man. It's not looking good, man.
Yeah, I think in the next couple of years, you're right. If Biden doesn't get people under control and he doesn't start trying to bridge some gaps, heal some wounds, people are going to go crazy. I mean, I probably, if I was Biden, I wouldn't say anything. I'd let the Trump people just calm the fuck down.
He's going to have to heal. Trump didn't cause these wounds, so they keep acting like...
No, he didn't cause the wound. No. I'm not saying that at all. All he did was stoke the fire, right?
I guess
he just woke up something.
Did he? Or was it already there? Police shootings were
he woke up something that was already there.
Police shootings
were
already
he woke up something that was already there.
But how?
I'm sorry, go ahead. What did you say?
Police shootings were already happening with Obama. People were already rioting when Obama was in office. What was the difference?
I wonder, man, because when they're rioting when he was in office, he did address it,
and he called them thugs.
Yeah.
Obama called them thugs in Baltimore. Black people.
He addressed it, but I think didn't Obama both of his terms, wasn't he kind of hamstrung by the House and Senate?
I think he had 2 years where he wasn't hamstrung, and I told you about that before. Also, they always seem to have a Democratic president, and then a Republican House, and then a Republican president, and then a Democratic House. So they always can use the excuse that this other group was stopping us. At the end of the day, we need to do what's best for all Americans. If we do what's best for all Americans, we don't need to.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's who. Yeah. But the problem is, they totally disagree on what's best.
And do they?
Well,
they all get.
I think they did
a lot of money from pretty much the same people.
Yeah, but they still disagree. Like, then how are they so diametrically opposed? It's because they don't do what's best for all Americans. They do what's best for their constituency, or the people that kind of represent them.
I don't know.
And those kind of people typically don't represent the other side.
It seems like they do what's best for the people that give them money. And then
or lobbyists.
Sometimes they'll trickle down to their constituents because no matter what, like, and the court system is really messed up, the family court system. And
yeah, we talked.
It's the Democrats and Republicans there, and neither one of them have done anything and act like they don't know what's going on. So,
did you watch that documentary?
No, I did. I did check it out, though. I did look it up, so I will check it out eventually.
Okay.
Divorce court. Yeah, man. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. I'm telling you.
There's a lot of shit going on. I'd like to, in future podcasts, and obviously, I told you this before, and I hope everybody else, like I would like to talk about, positive things, and maybe do movies and books every once in a while. Books that could help out, or I think could help out, stuff like that. But yeah, like I don't. I'd like to talk more about like what we think we can do.
Yeah,
I know you do your part.
Yeah,
you do your part as far as, and really, like when people look at it, it doesn't seem like a lot. But what can you really do? Is we can have these conversations, try to get people to listen to them, try to understand, like, this is what, conversation should look like. You might argue, but at least you're open and you're listening. And, sometimes, like, all you can do is, you say you try to talk to congressmen as much as possible, or you try to get in on political conversations on Twitter and, whatever, as much as possible, right?
No, I don't get in conversation with politicians or congressmen. I've reached out to my congressmen.
Yeah, reached out.
Yeah, one of the congressmen claimed that the Republicans were the ones who were stopping it, but the whole thing is, you're there. If you have a sales job, your job is to sell a product, right? And if you don't sell that product, so if your job is to sell windows, if you don't sell windows, you're going to be up out of there, right? Because you're ineffective. You're supposed to be able to negotiate and overcome objections, right? So that was just an excuse.
Even if you're a good salesman, that only happens about 10% of the time.
Hey, well, I need you to.
Yeah,
then we need to get somebody else in there who can effectively negotiate, because Trump got a lot of stuff done, whether you love him or hate him. He got a lot of stuff done that people said he wouldn't be able to get done. Even if you just look at that judge, right? They tried to stop him from getting the judge appointed. He got that judge appointed.
Yeah, he did that immediately, didn't
he? And they were trying to stop him. Maybe he did that for a reason.
Repercussions of that are.
Maybe he did that for a reason. Think about that. Maybe this was his way. So even if he loses,
he wants to take it to the highest court of the land. Yeah.
Right.
All his lawsuits.
And even if he don't win it, he can still have the argument, so he can have his base riled up in the next 4 years, right?
No, exactly. That's exactly what I think it is. So I think he's kind of. I mean, he's going to fight it till the end. He may think he'll win, but he's already thinking about what he's going to do for the next 4 years and how he's going to undermine the presidency a little bit, as much as he can as a civilian.
Think about him as a civilian, man. Really though,
well, Twitter said as a civilian, and I don't know how they pick these things. I do think that these social networks are kind of biased, because they will go against. And I really don't think Democrats say anything like to get people pissed off enough to like go start wars, but they'll cut off conservative people quicker. But anyway, what they said they'll do is, when he's a normal citizen, he could face even a lifetime ban if he gets too out of pocket.
Yeah, he can always. He's big enough that he can get his own platform if he wants it. At this point,
Trumper.
I think. Yeah, it can be something like that. People will check him out. Think about Alex Jones. They banned Alex Jones, and Alex Jones is still going. They banned him off YouTube and Twitter.
Oh, I didn't know he was still going.
Yeah, Alex Jones is still going strong.
Who was the guy that helped run?
It's the internet. Think about it. It's the internet. Like, it's not like, so you, instead of going to Twitter, you just go to another website.
It's the fucking internet, bro. It's like outside.
Google it, and then then you just click on the site.
Right. But at least when those, I guess it's up to you if you want to follow him on Twitter too. So the same people who are following him on Twitter are going to follow him on Trumper.
And there's a lot of people that follow him. I follow him because he's entertaining. I mean, isn't that what we go on the internet for anyway? To get information and be entertained?
Yeah, I just look at old Conan O'Brien videos.
Oh, yeah.
I try to entertain myself with funny shit. Cats.
Oh, yeah.
I watch a lot of pet stuff.
Yeah, I need to do a detox of this social media stuff.
Yeah, man. Like, when we talk about positivity and stuff, sometimes you have to go out of your way to try. So what I'll do is I'll avoid social media. I told you I turn my phone off sometimes. I'll just read a book all day, whatever. Stay off the news, watch the movies. And also I'll go out and find stuff that actually really makes me feel good, like certain music, I like. And other things, I will go on the internet instead of going to like these places and looking for contentious stuff. I'll just go watch funny videos, or I'll like watch jokes from Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle and Bill Burr and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You gotta, like I was saying earlier, man, you gotta kind of be careful about what you put in your mind. And sometimes it can be entertaining, but it can be not so good for you. Just like some of the food.
Well, it's kind of like rumors too. I don't engage in rumors about other people. I don't discuss other people.
The news
when
is
they're not
rumors.
around. And I don't watch the news. Yeah, and I don't watch the news. I refuse to watch it. Like one of the first things when I started hearing about positivity, one of the first things I heard about, stop watching the news.
Yeah, so negative.
Because the news is entertainment. Anymore, the news is entertainment. It's barely informative. And if it bleeds, it leads. They have one nice story for every 10 bad stories.
Yeah.
So why would you want to put that in your head? So programmers have this thing with computers. It's called garbage in, garbage out. If the code that you put into the computer is messy and it's not clean, it's just kind of all over the place, then you're going to get a really shitty program. The same thing with things you put in your mind. If you put garbage in your mind, you're going to get garbage out of your performance and your thoughts.
All right.
So put good shit in there.
Yeah. So we'll leave it at that then. We actually went over, so we actually not broadcasting live anymore, but this will still be up on the Blog Talk site.
All right. Before you get off, did you get the meditation stuff I sent you?
Yeah, I did, but we're still on the air now. I mean, but this is still on the podcast. Yeah. So so I'll just talk to you later or text me or something. All right, yeah. So until next time, thanks for anybody that was listening or decides to listen to this. If you got any show ideas, just let me know. And again, the call-in number whenever we are on is 515-605-9342. All right, thanks until next time.
All right, bye.